Alright, so class, today we are going to talk about what is a 30-second commercial. So a 30-second commercial is simply your opportunity to speak to a recruiter or someone at a business and convince them that you're someone worth knowing. So it's an opportunity for you to tell them about yourself and to express what makes you unique as a potential job candidate. So there are a few important elements that you must have in your 30-second commercial. So the first and most important element is your name. Obviously, when you leave a group, or when you leave a discussion with someone, you must make sure that they remember your name, okay? And another important thing to include are activities that you do that may be applicable to the requirements for a specific job that you're looking towards, and also expressing interest in the company, and specifically the recruiter, is also very important. And make sure you keep it conversational, because you don't want to sound dull and you don't want to just keep droning on and on and on. Okay, so I have a few questions for you guys to discuss what should and shouldn't go into a 30-second commercial. So first and foremost, what do you think is really important that you include in your 30-second commercial? Alethea?
I think it's really important to include your major and kind of your educational focus, because recruiters want to know that right away and kind of get that done initially, and so then you can actually bring about your personality later on in the conversation.
Definitely. Including your major and your academic focus is very important, because that's something that right off the bat the recruiter is going to know if this is someone that they should be willing to actually be listening to. If you're some random obscure major and you don't tell them and you get to the very end, you're probably going to make that person upset. But on the reverse, if you don't say what your major is right away, they might chime you out immediately, when all along you could have been the candidate they were looking for. What do you guys think is something that shouldn't be said in your 30-second commercial? Like, what are things you would leave out? Anybody? Matt?
I'd leave out the majority of my social activities.
That's a good idea. Yeah, it's probably not a good idea necessarily to bring up politics or religion, too, things that could be too touchy. You want to keep it professional and clean, so leaving out social elements is a very good idea. Anybody have anything else? Nope? Okay. So one key question is to make sure that you're not talking for too long and not boring the recruiter is, how do you manage your time? How do you tell when too much time has passed? Do you guys have any ideas or tips to kind of make sure things are on the path? Yes?
I think you can kind of tell by their body language if they look like they don't want to be talking to you anymore. If they're trying to wrap up the conversation, then you should wrap up the conversation as well.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think that you should kind of know a little bit about the person that you're going to be talking to, and that just helps to form kind of bullet points of what you want to get out of that conversation. So, you should have like 2 or 3 things that you want to ask a recruiter or learn about, and then once you're done with those, you should know you can wrap it up.
Definitely. So those are both very valid points. So it is important to watch body language, because usually the recruiter is going to give you some key movements or words that'll tell you to kind of indicate to wrap up your conversation or move on to the next topic. And it is also important to know what the recruiter wants to hear ahead of time, know about that company. That will give you, that structured outline so you can go in well prepared and not have to waste time trying to really figure out, is this recruiter listening to me? Are they bored? So those are all great points. So my final question is, how do you show excitement and enthusiasm while talking to these recruiters? Because obviously you don't want to sound boring. Yes, Matt?
I would recommend smiling.
That's very good. It's a good idea. Smiling is always important. People remember people who smile more than people who frown. Yes.
If you know a little bit about your opportunities ahead of time, then you can show that you're excited about it because you clearly did some research on your own.
Definitely. That's very true. Okay, so I think that you guys have gotten a good chance to hear about what exactly a 30-second commercial is. I'd like to recap a few points. So it's important to be always prepared. So prepare, prepare, prepare. Also, remember to be passionate about what you're talking about. You don't want to sound boring or dull. You want to make that person remember your conversation and make it something impactful. Identify your objective early on, what you're talking to that person for, and also know your audience and use specific examples throughout your conversation. Thank you.